Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wing. I'm doing a psychic tarot reading for you, tuning in to the day's energies, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through. This is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Hope this reading is finding you happy and healthy and enjoying your journey to becoming more and more yourself. What's hidden from the viewer? Thank you. Outcome and advice. Outcome and advice. There we go. Wow. The Emperor in the outcome and advice. All right, let's turn the cards over, see what we're dealing with here. In the overall energy, we've got the Two of Cups in reverse and the Seven of Cups in reverse. After a breakup, you don't feel like you have any options. No new interests. Okay, so why Two of Cups in reverse? What does the view... Wow. Two of Cups in reverse, Four of Swords in reverse. Four of Swords in reverse is my card for no contact. I feel like this is a breakup where after the breakup, a bad breakup, where you can't communicate with this person at all. There's no friendliness, or it feels like a definite ending to this relationship where you can't even communicate with them. You've gone no contact. Anything more about the Two of Cups in reverse, about the breakup? Boy, a lot of emotions. A lot of Swords and Cups. Ten of Swords reverse. Eight of Cups reversed. This is fortune after difficulty. This is a very painful breakup. A lot of betrayal. A bit of an overkill to end this relationship. Maybe this is why the Eight of Cups in reverse, like there's so much emotional attachment, beliefs attached to this person, this relationship. It feels like it took the Ten of Swords for you to walk away. But it's the Eight of Cups in reverses can't walk away. It feels like the inability to detach from this connection, even though there's no communication and there was a very painful ending. I'm getting a lot of betrayal and hurt, woundedness. It feels like this relationship has some type of story in your space, some type of attachment to the story of the hurt of... Feels like you can't walk away from some... Feels like this relationship has definitely ended and you're not communicating, but there's some type of woundedness that this relationship or the breakup caused within you that you're unable to let go of. Some type of story of abandonment, of being picked on, not supported, third party, confusion, and a lack of desire, a lack of interest. Hey. Oh. They're very exuberant. All right. Okay. There's something about how this relationship ended that's making it difficult for you to move on from this connection. There's some toxic family group, toxic group, overindulgent. If you are suspecting there was a third party, this isn't your reading about the third parties. I don't want to feed anyone's delusions. This is if you are aware that there were third parties or a third party. Getting in the way, influencing. I'm getting the feeling there's a group. 3 of Cups in reverse. I'm clarifying this group energy. Antisocial, in your feelings, silent treatment, left out. So there's this group that's purposely leaving you out. Wishful thinking in reverse. Nostalgia, second chance. So you don't want, there's no second chance here. So I get the feeling that you don't want to go back to this person, this relationship, but something about the ending of this relationship, the pain and the wounding, has got some type of story, victimhood, something that it feels like it's hard for you to walk away from, to let go of that story and choose something else. Tell me about the third party. If there is a third party, it feels like you don't even know who this is. Puzzled, confused, perplexed, conflicted. Laughter in reverse. Happiness, joy, healthy, or healing. So the third party is not a happy person. They're not healing, they're not happy, and there's a lot of confusion and conflict. Feels like this third party brings the conflict and the confusion. Feels like everybody's trying to be happy, but they're going about it in a very messed up way. This type of activity, creating a painful ending, is not how the foundation that you create a loving and happy relationship. It looks like there's a lot of confusion purposefully, miscommunication, lack of communication, withholding truths. There's no desire here. There's no passion. This relationship is no longer sparking any joy in you. But there's this story of being abandoned, being hurt. And I believe your feelings. I believe how you experience this. But there's something about the story that it feels like the relationship is long gone or gone and you're not communicating with this person. There's an ending, but it feels like the way it ended is making it difficult for you to process through, to move on, move through this. What's the 7 of Cups in reverse? This is in the overall energy, the 7 of Cups in reverse, a lack of options. The Knight of Cups in reverse coming out as a challenge to the 7 of Cups. So you're worried that you're going to attract someone who's going to sell you a fantasy, a delusion that's not true, a false reality. So there's a couple things going on here. There's some type of attachment to how this relationship ended. That it feels like you haven't processed through, figured out how to feel, and instead projecting blame on the group, on the third party, on your ex. How can you process through what's your wounding and feel what you're feeling, but without the story? How can you heal from this and alchemize? It feels like there's also another story of being afraid of being swept back into the same type of relationship. So what I'm seeing here is there's a little fantasy. You might go into fantasy when you're in a relationship and project on to the person who you're in a relationship with your fantasies, your idealizations. They tell you what you want to hear. So, if that's the case, if that sounds familiar, if that resonates, then healing from that. So, a different way of relating. So, not hooked on a fantasy, not needing someone, not yearning for someone. It feels like you might have a story that yearning is actually being in love with someone. The feeling of desiring someone and wanting them and loving them. But that if that yearning is kind of the fantasy, then it kind of keeps this fantasy where you never reach and achieve and have your relationship. You're always in that yearning and wanting. That might be for somebody. Anything else around the Seven of Cups in reverse, or about the Knight of Cups in reverse? Okay, it looks like there's this potential here for you to alchemize and heal and recognize who works with you and who doesn't. Being in reality, not projecting an idea of what you need from a romantic partner onto somebody. Not going off into fantasy, not being hooked on a feeling, but really taking the time to get to know someone and see if they are what they say they are, if they can walk the walk. Not just an illusion or delusion that they create. This feels like someone telling you exactly what you want to hear at the beginning of a relationship, and maybe love bombing, and you feeling like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I've waited for. This is my fantasy. It feels like they talk a good game. They just reflect back to you what you want to hear, that you might be sharing so much, so they're just saying yes to whatever you say you want, and they're in agreement until some point. It feels like that might be a pattern. And so you're learning how to alchemize this, heal this, and there's some emotional maturing that feels like there's potential here. About keeping everybody else out of this and focusing on what within you. How can you alchemize? How can you heal this and move on from this story? Whatever story this is about betrayal and hurt and being ganged up on and more betrayal, more hurt. There's emotional maturity here if you're interested in that. Healing from feeling the feelings without projecting blame, but recognizing what's yours, feeling that, getting to the root of this repetitive pattern so you can change it. If you recognize this pattern as something that does not bring you happiness and fulfillment, then you can take the responsibility of healing. If you're waiting for other people who cause the wounds to heal your wounds, then they're controlling you. then you've given your power away. I can't heal on my own. I need them to do something so I can heal. Then you're giving your power away. You're creating extra steps that are not necessary for your own personal healing. You don't need anyone else to do anything. Otherwise, that belief gives your power away. I need someone else to heal me. I need someone else to fix this. Okay. What's this next? Okay, we're clarifying. Yeah, there's this energy of inability to move on. Stuck in this past hurt and wounding. I'm perceiving that there's, where I'm coming to this is these cards, they're from the Chakra Wisdom Tarot, and I love the colors on the outside of the card, the border, denote what chakra they're dealing with. And we've got orangey, yellow, and purple. So what I'm seeing is a perspective shift that can be coming, seeing things differently, healing those beliefs, the story that you have about being hurt. When you're ready to let go of that story and become something else and allow that story to die away, then you stop attracting more of this type of story. The more you concretize and make solid your role and how this happens and entrench in that energy of victimhood, the more victimhood you attract. This is coming from someone who spent most of my life. I spent most of my life in victimhood, starting out as very victimized, but then stuck in this story of hurt because I had a belief that I needed someone else to rescue me, save me, heal me, and it was me I was waiting for. I was the hero in my own story. I stopped trying to outsource a hero to come in and save me and rescue me, and took my power back and rescued myself. It looks like this reading is for somebody who can't move on, and it's draining them, exhausting them. There's a need here to create healthy boundaries, stand up for yourself, and tell a different story. This story could be, instead of whatever you've been in, you could start with, I am leaving victimhood and giving my power away. I'm learning how to mature in my emotions, to be able to process my emotions, to alchemize the difficulties I've gone through. Because on the other side of healing is wisdom and understanding that can't be taught, that can only be learned by going through experiences. And so I'm in the process of allowing what difficulties I've gone through to help inform me and help me grow and expand and mature so I can stand my ground and be in a different story, be a different version of myself. All right. In what's hidden, we have 6 of Cups. I'm looking at the border color. So this feels like in your crown chakra. Family, nostalgia, again, cups. Boy, it's cup-tastic. A lot of emotions. So from your family of origin, it feels like, wow. 6 of Cups clarified by 6 of Cups. And this version, this image, feels like in your childhood you were treated less than. Here I'm seeing this as you, viewer. And other people okay with you being treated as less than. And then another card. Oh, more cards fell on the ground here. Okay, when cards fall on the ground and that hidden, it feels like family doesn't want you to talk about this treatment of less than. Ace of Cups, Three of Wands, we're on the floor. You have this real potential to heal from this generational pattern, family pattern of unequal treatment, to say the least. And it feels like gaslighting. Even if you're trying to, hey, I'm really cold and this really stinks down here. I don't like this. You're so emotional. You're always overreacting. It feels like it doesn't matter what you say to the people around you and your family of origin. They don't care. They don't care. They care that you're complaining, that you're not just tolerating, taking it, that you have needs, that you have wants of your own, that you have emotions of your own. Feels like, so what's hidden is that this goes back to your family of origin. This unhealed second-class citizenship, being treated less than in your closest relationships, where you don't get your needs met. So I'm not perceiving that this is to poo-poo your family either, or blame. This is for greater understanding so you can heal. So if the root cause of this, of feeling victimized and being victimized by the people closest to you, and the betrayal, it feels like the roots are coming from unhealed childhood wounds. It looks like you have a very expansive energy and you understand how to love yourself despite what you've gone through. It looks like I'm talking to somebody who's not interested in repeating this trauma, this pattern in within yourself, within your own family. It looks like you've got this expansive energy and you go towards what you want. And you've learned how, or you're learning how to love yourself despite how others treated you and taught you how to not love yourself, to maybe see you as a problem, as too much or not enough, or always some of you, it feels like you're the scapegoat. It doesn't matter what you do. If you do hit the target and please the people around you in your family of origin, then they'll move the target. It's a corrupt system is what I'm seeing. And so it feels like that's why you attracted someone that felt familiar to your upbringing on some level, to take advantage of your unhealed wounds from childhood and manipulate your emotions and your fantasies. So in your childhood, you probably had rescuing fantasies. Someone rescue me, someone who can hear me, someone who cares about me to take me out of here. And so when you met this person, they were telling you what you wanted to hear. But they never, ever intended to give you that. it looks like in partnerships, you have also had this picture where your needs are unmet. They don't care, a lack of caring. They just want you to give and stop complaining. It looks like you're figuring this out and seeing this and making changes, relearning how, how you were told life was, being willing to reconnect the dots, reconfigure, see things differently. Beautiful. In the outcome and advice, we have the Emperor. All this water and then Aries, fire energy. It feels like I'm talking to somebody who, on a soul level, you are a leader. You are meant to lead, if only leading yourself out of this patterning, this stuck way of being. Yeah. Page of Pentacles. This is my card for reconnecting the dots in a different way. Having neuroplasticity. Not stuck in one story. Not stuck in this is the way it is. This is the way. This is the crappy, crappy way. It looks like you're willing to reconnect the dots, see things from a different vantage point, mature, tell your story in a different way, maybe stop telling your story. When I went through something similar to what I'm describing and being abandoned by everyone, it actually was a blessing looking back, because it really gave me the space. No one was asking what my story was, what's going on. And that gave me the space to stop trying to tell a story, just let myself free flow and heal. And then once I started to heal and alchemize the woundedness, and there was a lot of woundedness that came out because I had yet to really heal in any way that's helpful my childhood issues. Now, though, instead of looking through the lens of victim and then perpetuating and recreating that, I started looking through the lens of everything that happens is happening for me. And so when something that I do not prefer happens to me, then I'm looking through a different lens instead of I'm a victim to it and it's da-da-da and they did this and they did that and they hurt, which I was so entrenched in, very entrenched in. Then I started looking through the lens of everything that's happened is happening for me. And so my job is to perceive what that value is, to get that value out of this. And then I started. So even when things happen that I do not prefer, I know that I'm going to squeeze every bit of value out of that experience. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to mature. I'm going to allow the experiences that I do not prefer to shape me into the version of me that can handle it, that stops that pattern from happening, that is more mature. And it's helped me lead myself. It's helped me reimagine myself and get back out there. Two of Wands, this person has had a full life experience and they've rushed and they've gotten back home and now they're looking out across the world. They've got the world at their hands, but they're thinking, oh, I've already experienced it all. I already know. I've already experienced, it's already, all the experiences There's no new experiences to have. I already know the people. This is a full cup. Someone who's a full cup filled all the way to the brim. There's nothing you can add without spilling over. And there's no new learning. There's no curiosity in that type of belief system. And the Two of Wands in reverse, this person has explored the world, gotten back, and they've reimagined their life, what they want, new desires. When you hit a wall, reimagine your life and get back out there. It feels like you are reconnecting the dots. This feels like slow going, maybe right now, but once you reimagine, decide what story, what version of you that you prefer to be. Instead of a victim, who do you want to be? Maybe this breakup is happening for you so you can get to the root cause, so you can reimagine yourself differently as a leader. I think your challenge is the King of Swords, to cut out that old story, to let it be, to not care to not care what this toxic group, the third party, the lies. If you spend your life trying to get people to see you how you want them to see you, to what end? How exhausting. You can't control what other people say about you, what they see, what they perceive about you. Instead, let them believe whatever they want, and lead and show yourself through your actions and demonstrate how you show up for yourself, how you heal, what you do next. Demonstrate who you are and who you can be. If you're allowing other people to dictate who you are and how to perceive yourself, then they've got control. And once people show you who they are, believe them. I don't go back to people who feel comfortable with betrayal. That's just a bridge too far for me personally. If they feel comfortable betraying you once, then they'll do it again. And some people need to lose connection with you, access to you, to learn their lessons. So, all right. I hope that's helpful. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great day.